Hi, my name is Helen Reid Hamilton, and this is my Milwaukee Recreation Story. Summer was born in Macon, Georgia. My husband was working in the school system in St. Paul, Minnesota. The MPS interviewed him, and so we relocated here in 1987. And at that time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had young kids. I started working in the school system, actually at Burroughs Middle School. My daughter was in middle school there, and I started out as the PTO president. And from there on, I got recruited by my principal at the time, Mr. Brazil, as their parent coordinator. And then after that, I got recruited over to John Muir Middle School until I was recruited to MPS district offices. And at that time, I was hired in '07, but actually started in '08 as a CLC and after-school supervisor. First, I started with getting to know the partners that the school worked with. I remember looking for specific programs for girls and for boys. Middle school is different. You've got to have programs that interest them because they tend to vote with their feet and they determine whether they want to stay for your program or not. I had a cooking program and the kids really liked that. Of course, because they could eat what they made, but also go home and brag about it to their parents and possibly prepare a dish or two for the meals at home. If you create that relationship individually with the student, it has an impact. Lions Quest is a social, emotional, and service learning program. They're learning about themselves in the very beginning and how to get along with everyone, but then in the end, learning how to service other people besides themselves and how they can make an impact on the community. We had many kids go through that program. When those kids completed that service learning project, they were able to gain the required service learning credit for graduation. The Excel program started actually when I was working at the sites, and the kids learned a lot. They learned a lot of skills, and they also learned about a lot of careers that they could pursue. In the swim program, we felt like we're going to teach them basic swim lessons and how to be safe in the water. And so, again, we're trying to provide something that's going to help them in their life. When I was at the school sites, we had to work in the system for data tracking. And so I was in that system every day, so I taught myself a lot from that system. And so by the time I got here in the district, they said, can you do the training for us? And so I did that for camps to start with, as well as the CLCs and safe places. When I was first hired, that first year, everybody had teased me so much about different things that were not true. When I first got hired, one of the staff members told me, they said, well, I hope you've planned for this. And they say, because you won't get a check for like 30 days. And I was like, what? And they said, but we'll carry you. We'll volunteer each one of us to take you out to lunch and stuff. So at least you'll eat during the day. And I was in shock. I was like, what? And they said, yeah, it could be more than 30 days. It depends on our system here. And so that was not true. Coming into the recreation department, I never knew how much recreation encompasses. It is not just the sports part of it, but all of the academic part, all of the community programs and everything. It's all of that. It's a team environment, so we're there to support each other. Today I see recreation as an extended family for me. Aspects of the job I will miss, but more than that, I miss all the people and all the special relationships that I've developed with not just staff here, but also out at my schools, and creating relationships with all of them, that I cherish and will always remember.